It's more than just your output, more than a bike. When you hear your shout out, you know it's all right. Put on your magic pants and let's go. We're cruising into the power zone. Clip in, set yourself free. Come on and take a ride with me. Know what you need to know and what's it all about. Everything you need, it's on the Clip Out.
Welcome to the Clip Out Podcast, episode 379. This is Crystal O'Keefe.
And this is Tom O'Keefe.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
I put on a hoodie because normally it's chilly down in the basement, and now I'm regretting it.
Are you?
Now I feel a little
toasty?
Yeah.
You can take it off.
I don't know.
You don't know if you can?
I don't know. I don't know that me taking off articles of clothing is in the best interest of the show. Watch the YouTube views will plummet. Gross.
Oh, you could stop that. That's not true. And besides, it's if you have a hoodie with a zip, you could just unzip it.
That's true. I like that you're trying to undress me, though. Nice. 10 years into a marriage.
It is.
Yeah. So what, pray tell, do you have in store for people this week?
Well, we have our interview with Jennifer Hilger. She is a Peloton community member. She's a working mom and she's a wife, and she is very highly motivated with Peloton. Oh. She actually used the app for 6 months before she ordered a bike. And she had never participated in a group cycling class. So she ordered a spin bike without ever having spun. So hearing that story,
that used to only be true about looms.
We also have updates from Peloton, their new international pricing we're going to cover. We're going to cover the AFO lineup. That's all for one. We're also going to talk about the AFO packages that Hyatt is offering, not to mention some little technical glitches that have been happening.
Okay.
We've got a big community celebration that we're going to talk about. There's the Lululemon one, but there's also a Peloton community event that had nothing to do with Peloton. It's through the community.
Okay.
And then, of course, we have our instructors in the news. We have some big things to chat about. We have past guest updates, multiples, and birthdays, etc.
Okay. Well, before we get to all that, shameless plugs.
We also have... I'm just kidding.
Like, okay, I guess we got more. I'll go freshen up my beverage.
Okay.
So before we get to all that, shameless plugs, don't forget you can find us wherever you get your podcast from. Now I'm all thrown off.
I know.
You can find us on Apple and Spotify and iHeart and Spreaker and Stitcher and the Zune store.
I don't think that's still a
thing. The last 3 things I said aren't in business anymore. Okay. Yeah. MySpace Audio, Friendster, Facebook.
Okay.
You can't find us there.
Facebook still exists.
But wherever you get your podcast from, be sure and follow us so you never miss an episode. That's really important. And you can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/theclipout. While you're there, like the page, join the group, and you can... what else? Oh, our Patreon, patreon.com/theclipout, where for $5 a month, you get bonus content. We record an extra 25 minutes of content a week, just stuff that can't fit in the show because it would be like 2 hours long. And we're trying to not do that to people anymore.
We are. We're trying to make it quicker.
We take that stuff and we put it over in the Patreon. So for $5 a month, you get that. And then you also get ad-free episodes. And if we get them early, you get them early. And probably most importantly, we like you a little extra.
Absolutely, we do.
Yeah.
There's some fun stories coming up this week, too.
Yeah, there are. We're going to talk about which instructor was battling an exit rumor that Peloton needed Crystal's help to strike down. They were like, please help us, Clip Out Crystal.
That's not how that went, but that's okay.
That's exactly how that went. We'll share that story with you over in the Patreon. And you can also watch all of these over on YouTube at youtube.com/theclipout. So
you have one too.
Oh, There we go. I forgot. I thought it was over my shoulder. That's why I was waving that direction. Sorry, I waved to the wrong camera. I'm like, oh, there's a camera over there. I never realized there was one on me. So,
oh my word!
If I'd have known that, I'd have been wearing pants all this time. Oh, and we also have a newsletter, which I didn't send out last week because all the things weren't ready, and then I forgot.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah, the YouTube never went up last week. So if you've been looking for it, I'm so sorry.
Yes.
I don't know what happened, but it never went up. But we keep being told it will eventually. But you probably won't care about it by the time it does.
Exactly.
So may we invite you over to all the other locations to listen.
Precisely. And you can just stare at pictures of us and like move them back and forth. Look like South Park animation. So anyway, there's all that. Let's dig in, shall we?
We shall.
There we go.
Peloton in the news.
Peloton has released new international prices. So all the pricing now has an accent, is what I imagine.
Mm-mm.
How much is this bike? Oh, it's $3,000.
No.
No?
No. Fun fact.
Oh, because it would be euros.
Well, and Peloton's not available in France.
Oh.
And you gave that a French accent. But no, actually, the pricing in those countries was already in whatever denomination was locally sold.
Okay.
So that did not change.
Gotcha.
But the amount of denomination that you will be paying has increased.
Ooh.
Yeah. And pretty much across, well, not pretty much across the board. So
across the border.
For the bike in the UK, it went from $13.45 to $15.99, and then in Australia it went from $21.45 to $26.99, and then Germany and Austria it went from $14.45 to $18.99. So these are not small.
How do you
increases.
say "woof" in German?
I don't know, but
you were telling us last week you spoke German now.
That was on the bonus.
I can't remember where we say things. So,
and I can only read German. I cannot speak it.
How do you spell "woof" in German?
W-U-F.
It's probably
the little umlauts.
I think their dogs say "woof."
That's probably true.
Yeah.
But, it's very similar increases with the Bike Plus and the Peloton Row. And then the interesting thing is that the Row still is not available over in the UK.
Okay.
Now, when the Row was first released, we were told it was coming soon. Like that was imminent.
Right.
But I guess because of financial issues, that never happened. So I don't know that it's probably not completely axed.
Right.
But I don't know when. So
interesting.
Yeah. You can, in the UK, interestingly, you can rent the Bike Plus for £125 a month and a £200 one-time joining fee. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess they don't like the subscriptions over there. I don't know.
And it would not if they got to pay $200 to do it.
Yeah.
That would stop me from liking it.
Well, but then I assumed, and maybe incorrectly, that you didn't need to pay a monthly fee for the Peloton app, but I might be reading way more into that than what was indicated. Like that was just my assumption.
Right.
I don't know.
Who knows?
I don't know.
So, okay. And there's no Black Friday over there. So there's no.
Don't they have still big sales though? It's still before Christmas.
Probably.
I'm pretty sure they still.
They
have
don't got Black
sales.
Friday because it's Thanksgiving. They don't do the Thanksgiving.
They
over
do
there.
not do the Thanksgiving.
That's an American thing.
It is. It's very American. Canada does Thanksgiving, but they do it in a different month.
They do their own Thanksgiving.
Yes,
they're thankful about other things.
They are
like not having to have a copay when they go to the doctor. That's what they're thankful for.
That's something worth being thankful for.
So, I remember when we were in England, though, it was around Christmas time and they were pushing sales. Mm-hmm. I think they just started like the beginning of December.
No. I don't know, but they were talking about the sales because we even were like, wait, did they have Black Friday here? We even had this conversation while we were there. And so I left with the assumption that their sales mirrored the timing of our sales, even though they don't officially call it Black Friday.
Right.
I remember that was my, who the hell knows how it got there.
Yeah.
But that was how I left that conversation.
British listener to to educate us?
I don't know. I think we just had this conversation in our hotel room.
No, I'm saying we need a British listener to educate us.
Oh, okay.
So we know.
I got you.
Yes.
I thought you meant like go back and listen. I was like, we didn't talk about it on the episode.
No, I'm like, we don't know what we're talking about. We need someone to help us.
Yeah.
All for One, or as the cool kids say, AFO, lineup has been announced.
It has, yeah. And it is quite a bit smaller than it has been in past years.
So most for one.
Well, All for One was a very different thing.
Yes.
So All for One meant something completely different. Now it is a music festival, but that's not what it was originally. Anyway, there are very mixed reactions to this lineup. I am happy about it because it's a good variety of like older stuff and newer stuff that I recognize. You know, for example, the Black Eyed Peas. Like, I really enjoy Black Eyed Peas. I do not think that they are something that the kids are currently listening to.
It seems unlikely.
Right? But Billie Eilish is.
Yes, she is.
I also really like Billie Eilish. From that vantage point, there is a little bit of diversity. However, there's really nothing on here from the rock genre. Right.
Gotcha.
No rock horns to be found.
No rock horns. Well, because you can't hold onto your bike while you're throwing up rock horns. Gotta be careful.
I mean, Stevie Nicks is the closest it gets.
Yeah, I mean, I like Stevie Nicks.
I do too.
But that's not a rock horn type of band.
Nah, not really.
Yeah.
I honestly like a lot of these bands, but it doesn't hit a wide variety of people in the same
Stevie
way.
Nicks must be like doing a push or something because she's going to be on SNL. We just saw.
Yeah, so there must be something happening.
Yeah. There is also an AFO challenge associated with AFO.
Yes, that is true. And
find the challenges. Find a band you like.
That it's the same time that AFO is up for obvious reasons. So from September 26th to October 5th, you can earn a badge as you listen to these different bands or singers. And you can join the challenge on the bike, the tread, the row, or the app. So you're able to join from any of those. So that's always fun. It's always neat to get the badges for going to the classes.
Yeah.
I mean, I enjoy that. I like getting the badges.
Do you ever scroll through the badges, like your old badges?
No.
So then why do you care if you get them?
I don't know. Honestly, to be quite frank, it used to be a much bigger deal when there were less. Like
Right.
the more that you add in, the more impossible it is to get them all.
Right.
And that was kind of the fun of it, was collecting them all.
Yeah.
And there's
once
no,
you can't get them all,
like I've accepted that. And once I personally accepted that, I didn't.
it's like Pokemon.
Yeah.
Maybe they should have Peloton Go. And you run around your neighborhood and you're like,
I feel like that's going to end in somebody getting arrested trying to attack an instructor.
I found a Cody Rigsby.
And this is why we have security now, Tom.
Yes.
Oh, we didn't used to. But yeah, so that'll be a fun little add-on.
Yeah. There is also a VIP AFO package that you can get via Hyatt.
Yes. Now, there is a range of packages. Okay. So
Well, that's true. You're talking about hotel
I am.
sales, not... Okay. Because, I mean, yes, there are a range of packages.
The prices range from $200 to $1,500 for these packages.
Okay.
But there's a wide variety of what you get. So for some of them, they are VIP classes, they're meet and greet. And then there are some that you also get a 2-night stay at, like if you're staying in New York, you get the two nights at Park Hyatt. There's also London experiences. So there's going to be meet and greets for Susie Chan and Bradley Rose.
Okay.
And then there's also a VIP class and a tour. For you and a friend. There's also a post-class photo opportunity and a 30-minute meet and greet for each of those. So they don't appear to have like the 2-night stay option in London.
Because of the metric system.
But they do in the New York packages. There's also, it's interesting, the VIP classes are listed separately. So there's like, you can take classes with Cody or Olivia. Then you can have a meet and greet with Adrian Williams when you sign on to Cody's package. And you can have a meet and greet with Camila if you sign up for Olivia's package. Right?
Yeah, that's very confusing.
Very.
Yeah.
I guess it's just a way to include more people, more instructors.
It's just odd way to configure those.
I would agree. But anyway, if you are wanting to get involved in that, you certainly can. You just go to Hyatt Experiences. We've got the link in our post, and you can sign up for it if they're still around.
I think those are good ideas, especially so many people are coming in from out of town, and that's a way, I guess, to not have to worry about what if I don't get a class for my trip.
Absolutely.
I book my room at the Hyatt, and I know I get a class.
Now, this is only for AFO, though.
Right.
So, I mean, that's just the one weekend. And also, they only gave people a 2-week heads up. So there's not really a lot of time.
Yeah,
we're kind of down to that. I hope that you live in the tri-state area.
Right.
Or you have lots of vacation time, or you don't work.
Lots of
or
PTO,
you're independently wealthy.
And lots of miles.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
The Teams feature was having issues this week.
Yeah, it's not working correctly. So
sounds like a team I'd be on.
They
call them Toms.
On the app specifically, they've been seeing that it's not working, and it crashes a lot. So they've been putting out new releases for that.
Gotcha.
So
if you've been having issues, it's not you, it's them.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Bike Classes got a new camera angle this week.
Well, now they're trying it out. We don't know that they're going to stick with it. But maybe it was part of the studio maintenance they recently did. Anyway, there's really mixed results. Really mixed opinions about this.
Yeah. Wait, there's been a change and some people don't like change.
I mean, that's fair. Although I have to say, I'm not sure I like it either, because there's more people that are visible in the class.
Right.
But it's from the back. So, like, if you are not expecting to be on camera from the back while you're out of saddle, that might be a little jarring. And not everybody, like, they
call this the Sir Mix-a-Lot cam.
You feel really far from the instructor in this view as well. So I don't know if this is truly experimentation or if it's here to stay. Not sure how I feel about it, but lots of people are not sure. Actually, they are sure and they don't like it.
Do they show a whole bunch of the class from this angle, or just they occasionally cut to this?
I think they occasionally cut to it.
Yeah, I think just looking at this on my computer, because we all know I would never see it on a bike.
Right. We do know.
I feel like this is a way for, like, if you're in a class, to still get you a little bit of screen time.
That's what I assume that they're trying to do too.
So,
but if you weren't expecting it, I don't know that would feel real great. because like, if you weren't wearing something that you felt good in and comfortable from behind. Now, most people that go to the studio, they've already thought about their viewing, how they're going to be seen on camera.
Especially because you got to go in with the assumption you might be on camera.
Absolutely.
There's no,
But I'm just saying, if I was wearing, this is me, I'm not speaking for anybody else, but if I was wearing only a sports bra and a pair of shorts, and I didn't know that camera was on me and I was out of saddle, I would not feel my most confident. Is all I am saying.
Okay.
So.
Agree to disagree. That's all I'm saying. So the Lulu members weekend was last weekend. We had a recap over at the website. Yeah.
Trish was there. Super Trish. That's her leaderboard name.
Okay.
And she is one of our tipsters, really. Mm-hmm. And so she was there. She had a blast, just like she did last time. This is the second one she's attended. There's only been 2. There were all kinds of little surprises for people, especially if you had never been, because they had swag bags at every opportunity. They had you got a water bottle for Lululemon that was branded Lululemon every class you went to. Now, that was the same last time, but this time they had a hot pink one, and we were all over at the Clip Out trying to get Trish to give us that hot pink water bottle, but she only got one, so we couldn't have it. But the rest were white, and they're pretty, but the pink one was amazing.
Gotcha.
Anyway, and they had really nice bags. They had, for the 5K, they had a different Lululemon bag than they had like at the events in the studio. So there were all these different kind of bags that you could get. And they also had, Callie was there, And that was her first weekend back since she's been on maternity leave. So she got to teach her first classes. She also came in at the event and like did the announcements and everything. There was no meet and greet with her for that portion. Like it was the party and that was not what she was there for. She just came in to do the intros, but there was a separate opportunity for people to see her. And then Eric Yeager was of course there. Maddie Giacomo was there. Alex Toussaint. Katie was there. Katie Wong. She was very excited, by the way, that she's teaching strength. Like she was telling Trish how excited she was about that. And there was also a DJ at the party that was like spinning tunes. Okay. So that was all fun. A few things that we thought were interesting is that there were less people overall at this event. So I don't know if that was purposeful, like Peloton capped it at a lower level, but Trish said everybody, like the classes, the 5K, the meet and greet, all of it was less people.
Interesting.
Yeah, I definitely thought that was interesting. And each attendee got that swag bag. There was a Lululemon gift card. There was the insulated bottle. And then prizes were also randomly given out during classes. So like they would like pick a number. And if you were on bike 18 and they picked 18, you got an extra prize just for like being there. So it was really cool. And then Jocelyn Thompson Rule showed up. And nobody was expecting that. And she took part in the Sim 60 boot camp. And it was just really fun to see her. She had just gotten off the plane, came straight from the plane into the studio and took classes.
Look at that.
Amazing.
Well, that sounds fun.
It was a lot of fun. And I will also say for people who were part of the event last time and they were feeling some type of way about it, one of the things they were upset about was that Lululemon did not provide pictures for any of the event.
Okay.
They took lots of pictures, but then they didn't share them. This time they shared those pictures.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you want...
Yeah.
And if you got somebody there doing it anyway...
Right.
Here's a Dropbox link.
Right.
That's all you got to do.
Exactly.
The Black Peloton Riders Community is celebrating 5 years.
That is so cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Gary Bushrod originally started the group back in September of 2019. And I know it's obvious if you do the math.
Right.
That's 2019. But again, because of the pandemic, I just feel like it kind of messes with your head to think that 2019 was already 5 years ago.
I know.
That's just crazy.
It is.
But that's really cool. They have over 30,000 members in the Facebook community. That's really neat.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, good for them.
Did you know, by the way, just one more thing about that?
Probably not, but go on.
They have cruises within the BPR group.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. They go on cruises. They did in their fourth year, they did their first one. And then they are going to have, or they did have their second annual cruise. I thought that was really fun.
Is there a cruise line that actually has Pelotons on there?
Oh, yeah, there are. But it wouldn't be enough for everybody to take it at the same time.
No, there's no way.
No.
Normally
but
there's like 4 or
there are
something.
multiple cruise lines that have Pelotons on them. Yeah.
I guess we just go on the cheap ones or something.
Yeah, they're the really expensive
the
ones.
Disney cruise
What's
line's
the one
cheap.
What's the one that Richard Branson owns, though?
Virgin?
Yeah, that one has the Pelotons on it. I know that one does.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't sound like a fun cruise. Virgin? No, thank you.
It's just a brand name, babe.
Yeah, it's a bad brand name. Just telling you right now. I know he's very successful. That's a bad brand name.
Well, congrats to the BPR. That's
Absolutely.
cool.
So the Pixel Watch 3 Fitbit has a free trial that now comes, or has a Fitbit free trial.
There you go.
There we go. That comes with Peloton Classes.
Yeah, and this is part of the recent partnership between Google and Peloton, where you're going to see this on all Fitbit items going forward. So I think as they keep, I think you're going to keep seeing new add-ons, and this is the newest one.
Okay. Well, if you're on the fence, there's a little something for you.
Yeah.
Well, I guess if you already got a Peloton membership, probably doesn't do you a lot of good.
I think that's just for people who they're still expanding their horizons. Right. If you're listening to this podcast, you probably already like Peloton.
Seems it would be a little weird if you don't.
But it's a great thing for us as members, community members, to tell people who have Pixels, hey, you've been wanting to try Peloton. Here's a great way to do it.
Into the watch
there you go.
Check out some quick hits of just things going on around the Peloton world. Alex Toussaint's shoes are featured in a book about shoes.
Yeah. I just thought this was the weirdest thing. I just thought it was weird.
I mean, I guess people are really into shoes.
I know, but one of those things that it never even occurred to me that there would be that much excitement around. I mean, I'm sure it's the same way people think of me whenever they find out that we have a podcast about Peloton.
Right.
Yeah. It just never even occurred to me there would be an entire coffee table book.
Oh, yeah.
Just for shoes.
When they put out new shoes, people
just
line
sneakers.
up. Yeah, well, that's what I mean, specifically sneakers. People line up around the block when the new sneakers come out. Like, it's a big deal. Like, it's not.
I always knew that, but I didn't know that they had a coffee table book.
Well, I mean, I guess if you can't get them, or you want to go back in time of like, here's a shoe that came out in 2011 that I can't get anymore.
Perfect sense. It's just had never entered the possibility in my brain.
Yeah.
So it was fascinating.
So Mila Lazar had a nice Instagram post this week.
She did. It was reminding everyone to take a deep breath and just love and accept ourselves. She silently sat outside on her stoop and she used the cue card type of thing that you saw in the movie Love Actually, and reminded everyone that we are strong, we are powerful, and nothing can stop us. Jocelyn
Thompson Rule wrote a book.
Okay, so this is actually not new.
Okay.
This book was written
before she was a Peloton instructor.
Yes. And I don't remember how many years that's been anymore, but I know she's been an instructor for a long time. So this is actually not new, but she was signing books and posting about it.
Oh, okay.
And so we wanted to raise awareness that, hey, it exists. It's called How to Move It, Reset Your Body.
Matt Wilpers had a 1 mile PR.
Yeah, when he did the Fifth Avenue mile, he actually did it faster than he's ever done it, which was 4:49. 4 minutes and 49 seconds to do an entire mile.
That's insane.
It is. My God.
You know what would suck about being that fast?
What could possibly suck about that?
You would never really be allowed to be late for anything ever again.
Transportation's still going to be slow.
You could have caught a cab even quicker. You're probably faster than a cab in New York City.
That's probably true.
So, like, he's got no excuses.
Just run everywhere, Matt.
Yes.
Just run.
Yeah.
Appointment to appointment. Run.
And they'll be like, that Matt guy, super punctual, but kind of stinky.
He's going to need a portable shower everywhere he goes. Well, congrats to Matt.
And coming up after this, we're going to talk about instructors in the news, let you know what Rebecca Kennedy and Andy Spear are up to for wedding week.
Instructors in the news.
Wedding week for Rebecca Kennedy and Andy Spear is upon us.
It is. Yeah. We are officially in the actual week. They are already celebrating. Tons of people have shown up. DJ John Michael is there.
Okay.
With Brian.
So that means they didn't have to get a DJ for the wedding?
Well, I thought maybe he would just get to enjoy it.
Oh. I just thought they were kind of cheaping out.
They're in Italy.
And they're like, hey, buddy,
based on the views that they are posting, no, nothing is cheap about this. No, they're in Italy. And nothing is cheap in Italy.
Well, something must be cheap. They got poor people there.
Well, but to get there and spend the money on the nice places. Anyway, let's see. Dennis is there, notably without his girlfriend, Jess. So there's been rumors about that. We've covered it over on the bonus. And then Jess King is there. Now, Sophia is home with the kids. So Jess King is flying solo. Absolutely. Brittany Allen is there.
Okay.
So can't help but wonder how many fashions this week will be designed and created by Brittany Allen.
Does Brittany Allen do wedding dresses?
Brittany Allen does whatever
Brittany Allen wants to do.
That's right.
Can't even imagine how glittery that wedding.
Whatever Rebecca wanted is what happened.
Yes.
And then Tunde is there and Adrian is there as well. And Adrian's girlfriend is also there.
Gotcha.
I just wanted to say that I want to make sure people know that we will be covering the week as it happens. And we will have a big wrap-up article that's going to have highlights and details of everything. So you will not miss it.
Okay. So that's a good time to bookmark the Clip Out website.
Yes. Or sign up for the newsletter.
Sign up for the newsletter. Or, of course, follow you
on Instagram,
Facebook, all the places.
Yeah.
Hannah Corbin was on KOIN, which is in Portland.
It is in Portland.
In case you were
I didn't know where that was.
Yes. And
isn't she from there?
I have no idea.
I think she might be.
I think I'm supposed to ask you those questions, not the other way around.
That's fair.
That's kind of the premise of the show.
That's fair.
So, but she was on there discussing TED awareness.
Do you know what TED is?
Thyroid eye disease.
Very nice.
You weren't expecting me to know that, were you?
I was not.
Take that.
So
Apology accepted.
Why don't you know where she's from then? Show off.
Because I don't pay attention to other women like that. Because I am happily married.
It's a nice answer.
I know where you're from. That's all I need to know.
Okay.
That's it.
That's all.
I don't even know where like my own sister's from anymore. Scrubbed it from my mind. Because I have you.
Oh, your poor sister.
She's fine.
Wherever she is.
At her age, she doesn't remember. So
she doesn't listen. You don't have to.
Yes.
You don't have to give her. You don't have to roast her on the show. She won't listen.
Well, maybe she's got a Google alert set up for her name. So, yeah, she's on there discussing TED awareness.
Very nice, Tom.
So.
Yeah. And I believe she has this. And that's why she was talking about, well, I mean, not the only reason she was talking about it. She's raising awareness.
But normally people have some sort of, either they have it or someone they love have it when they have a special cause like that.
Yeah.
You know, interesting side pop culture note, because that's what I bring to the table.
It is.
Jerry Lewis famously hosted the Muscular Dystrophy Telethon for years and years.
Yes, he did.
Right? For like 40, 50 years.
Forever.
No one to this day has any idea
why. I have always wondered that.
Like, he just walked into their offices one day and was like, I want to host a telethon for you. And they were like, you're a big star. Okay.
Really?
And like to the best anyone can tell, like, there's nobody in his life afflicted with it. He didn't have it, obviously. And they have no idea like why he picked this disease to try and help. Like he just, like I said, just walked in one day and said, I want to do that.
I would like to think somebody in his life inspired him.
I don't know. Nobody can point to it.
Interesting.
Christine D'Ercole was featured in Food and Wine.
She was, yeah. I love this because the title says, Cycling Champion Christine D'Ercole wants you to drop your baggage around negative food talk.
Okay.
That's great.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what time of year it is. Food is always such a difficult conversation.
It certainly can be.
People get very uncomfortable sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, especially people that struggle. Mm-hmm. I'm one of those people.
Same here. I know. I'm sure I say negative things to myself about food all the time.
Yeah. It's tough. It's tough to drop your baggage about anything.
Peloton Artist Collaboration.
So we had an interesting artist series announcement around Latin Hispanic Heritage Month and Selena.
So it's not weird that they had Selena classes.
For sure. Like, it's more how it got announced.
But
right?
they announced it that the booking was going to begin on a Sunday.
Yeah.
And they announced that on Saturday. That was just bonkers to me. Like,
because that's a major artist too. Like, she's
it is
huge.
a major artist, and for them to change the day like that on people.
Yeah.
Now, on the one hand, you would think a wider variety of people would have access to their computers on a weekend day.
That's fair.
But if you're already kind of programmed for Thursday at noon Eastern, and then to have it all of a sudden new stuff drop on a Sunday, it's just a real disadvantage. That's why you should follow the clip out.
Absolutely. Truer words have never been spoken. Also, we have Sam Yo and the music of Marvel.
Yeah.
That is a good combo.
It is. It is. So he had a whole class that was nothing but Marvel music. Now, apparently, it's going to be a series. This is not just a one-off.
Okay.
Which I'm pretty stoked about.
Yeah.
And I saw in the Reddit community, which, I'm not a big fan of the Reddit, but I did see somebody was like, calling all nerds, you need to take this class. Yeah. And I was like, yes, you do. This message is approved. I agree.
I wonder what they would be playing in that class if it weren't for James Gunn.
That's fair.
So.
This is going to be a series, and Sam led the first class, and this was Sam's doing to make this happen. But other instructors are going to be teaching classes too. Robin is going to be doing a 20-minute arms and shoulder music of Marvel class on September 19th. So by the time you hear this, it will already be out. So Alex K, Logan Aldridge, and Mila Lazar are also all going to be having classes. We don't know exactly when those classes are coming out yet, but keep your eyes out.
Awesome.
How fun is that?
Yeah, that's a clever artist series instead, like an interesting way to come at it.
Absolutely.
Past guest update.
Michelle Kay, who you might remember, was writing bunches and bunches of Peloton related articles for, who was she working for originally?
She was a freelance, so she did Shape. She did. There was a lot of them.
But now she writes for Peloton.
Yeah, she writes for their blog now.
Yeah, and she had a baby.
She did, little Dahlia, and Dahlia was born on Friday the 13th, and we just wanted to send our congrats to Michelle Kay.
Also, Jennifer Brown, a previous guest on the show, was featured on the Today Show, sharing her fitness journey.
Yeah, she lost 180 pounds, if you remember. She's now up to 189 lost. Like, that's the total.
Right.
But she has some of her posts have gone viral because of her changes that she's made. And she's also gone viral for how she's gone from barely running to like running all the time. So that journey as well. So she got to share both of those. But very exciting. Kirsten Ferguson showed up to surprise her in person. How cool is that?
Very cool.
New content.
It is time for the TCO Top 5, where you tell us what we should be doing.
Okay.
And then we tell other people.
All right, let's just jump in.
Okay, number 1, favorite strength class.
This was taught by Rebecca Kennedy. It was a 20-minute arms and shoulder strength, and it was back from May 24th of 24. She has been getting a lot of love lately for her classes. Carrie McGilvery Logan said, I absolutely love this class for shoulders, triceps, and biceps. I will be doing it many times. Music was good also, and Rebecca struggled along with me. That's always nice.
Number 2, your favorite walk.
Okay, so this was taught by Jess King, and it was on August 6th of 24, 30-minute pop walk. Tara Curtis said this walk was awesome. She had a beautiful day to walk outside while her son had lacrosse practice, and the playlist was amazing. Playlist ranges, by the way, from Yaz to Rod Stewart to Prince, Lady Gaga, Wilson Phillips, and more. That is quite a range.
It is. Number 3, your favorite outdoor walk run.
This was taught by Maddie Majacomo, and it was a 30-minute Chapel Roan walk plus run from August 7th. Don Rudy took this class, and he said it was a great outdoor class to walk run with his doggy Luna. Chapel Roan has burst onto the scene, and I took this class twice. Maddie's comments are always amazing and interesting. 2 thumbs up. It's true. Maddie is very interesting.
Number 4, your favorite stretch.
Okay. So this one goes back a little bit. We're in the archive. Back of July of 22, Hannah Corbin taught a 20-minute lower body stretch. Also, if you will notice in the little thumbnail, she is doing the splits, which might be intimidating for some.
Yeah, that would.
But Christine Beers-Weston says, don't be intimidated by the thumbnail. I'm nowhere near a split. You don't have to be. This is an insanely effective hip and hamstring opener. And Katie Bromley agreed, this is my favorite stretch. I do it 2 to 3 times a week. Wow.
Okay. And then finally, your unstackable. It is a Power Zone ride.
Listen, this was unanimous and well loved by a lot of people. I don't know that we've ever had one class nominated by this many people in 1 week. This was taught by Christine, and it was a 60-minute Power Zone ride on Sunday, 9:15. Okay. Carrie McGilvery Logan, she's back, and she says, this was probably the hardest ride I have ever done. I simply could not do it as called out. It was a points race and a scratch race all in one. I held on riding for 60 minutes, which I called a success. Jamie Brooks agreed, pointing out that Christine said on her live, this is the hardest ride she's ever taught.
Yikes.
My friend was in studio, and his photo with her looks like he just got out of a pool. So if you're looking for a tough class, that is for you.
There you go. Okay, let's take a look at what else we got going on this week at Peloton. We have a Peloton defected live DJ ride.
Yes, Hannah Frankson. So this is from London, is going to be teaching this class, 30-minute, and it's going to be on September 20th at 2:30 p.m. Eastern.
We also have a Power Zone FTP with Tune Day.
Yes, but it's a test, which is interesting because I don't think there's ever been a FTP test with Tune Day.
Okay, I thought that sounded unusual.
Yeah, she's been teaching Power Zone for a while, but it's like there's not a ton that come from Tune Day, but it's nice to mix it up. But this is the first test that she will be doing. There is a 10-minute warm up that they recommend you do, and then follow that up with the 20-minute Power Zone FTP test. And so that is going to be dropping on the 18th at noon. So check it out.
We also have Just Tabata with Logan.
Yes, that is going to be Sunday mornings, and that's his new signature series. And it is going to, the next class is going to be on September 22nd at 10 a.m. Eastern.
And finally, we have an Oktoberfest party.
Yes.
Don't spill a beer on your bike.
No, although it has happened before, back in the old days.
I'm sure.
Yeah. There's going to be a 30-minute Oktoberfest ride with Eric on Friday, and then there's going to be an encore on Sunday. And then if you want to get a full body workout, you can join Asal, and that's going to be a 20-minute full body strength on Sunday as well.
We mentioned earlier that it's Latin and Hispanic Heritage Month because of the Selena class, but it's not just a Selena class. There's all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, there's going to be Todo Ritmo rides. There's going to be Fiesta Latina rides. Runs, music electronica, and there's also going to be a mixture of Todo Ritmo row, and then an electronica walk and run, and the musica electronica row. Also this week, Rad Lopez's brand new strength split program, first time ever in Spanish, is dropping as well. So that's really exciting.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We also have a Discover Yoga program.
We do. And this is a interesting one because the classes cover 9 different weeks, but they must have filmed it a long time ago because Ross Rayburn and Kristen McGee both have classes.
Why, Billy, did he mention that he had stuff in the can that we'd still be seeing from him?
He did. Yeah. Kristen did not mention that, but neither of them closed the door to future opportunities. Right. So I know that it kind of looks like they came back and did it, but if you kind of look at everything, even from the way that the studio looks, it seems like it was probably an older one, like a 6-month 6 months or so is how long some of those take to get out. So it's pretty cool, though.
In case you missed it.
Peloton Apparel also dropped a marathon collection this week for people.
They did. And honestly, I really thought I was going to be purchasing something. I haven't purchased anything in a very long time. And I headed right over there, but they don't have pockets. That is a no-go.
Yeah.
If I'm going to be out there, because I take so long, if I'm going to be out there for 7 to 8 hours, plus sitting for God knows how long before I even get to start running, I'm going to need pockets. So that was a no-go for me. No-go.
Okay. Well,
they're really pretty, though.
If you don't need a pocket.
Yeah.
You can head on over there and get yourself some marathon stuff.
Did you see those short shorts?
You showed them to me. They were very short.
3-inch brief line shorts for the men. Woo!
No, thank you.
It is 1970 all over again. Remember when the gym shorts were super short for boys?
I do. I was alive in the 70s.
Well, it's back.
I remember there's pictures of me as a child wearing those things, which I think are now illegal.
The pictures are illegal?
Yeah, you'll end up on a list. You start sharing those things.
Well, this particular collection was tested and approved by Bex Gentry and Matt Wilpers.
Well, there you go.
Peloton birthdays.
And finally, we got one birthday this week. It's Robin Arzon on September 20th. So if you see her in the break room, there's cake.
Happy birthday to Robin.
Happy birthday. And coming up after this, we have our interview with Jennifer Hilger. So stick around.
Checking in with the Peloton community.
Joining us today via the magic of ZoomTube is Jennifer Hilger. Hey, Jennifer, how's it going?
Hi, good. Thanks.
We're excited to have you here. I always like to start these conversations by understanding how Peloton came into your life and how you decided this is a good thing for you.
I started running in 2010. I started a Couch to 5K running program. I completed a 5K, a 10K, half marathon. I did all the things, right? The natural progression up to running, 30 miles on my 30th birthday, all the things. And then I had a child. And
they're the worst. Why do we do that?
And then, it's just like I gave myself grace, but it was just I was a little bit in a rut. Like I would get out and be active, but I wasn't where I was before. And then we had the pandemic and I heard about this Peloton app and there was like a 90-day trial. And I thought, well, it's free for 90 days. I might as well try. And so I just listened to a couple runs and I was like, this is kind of cool. I don't have to make my playlist. I like what they're saying to me. And then it just took off from there. It was a nice way. Some of my best friends live in New York and Michigan. And so we could be on a live run together. We all only just had the app and felt like we were together at a time when it was harder to be together. And then I decided to order the bike, and my husband's like, you've never even like taken a cycling class. And I was like, I know, but like people I like, they like it. So I'm sure I'll like it. So sure enough, I did. And I at first I spent so much time on the bike. I love it. And it just found a way of training for me in a time of a lot of uncertainties. I work in education, and that was a lot, coming back in the pandemic and all the feelings and all the procedures and things. So it gave me a constant, and I always say I suffer from decision fatigue. And so having someone tell me what to do, I'm here for it. So took off from there. I always said I never needed a treadmill, but then I got so into Peloton and I love it so much. I was like, well, now I need the treadmill.
That's how they get you.
Yeah, I really love it. I didn't know that I needed it. And then now it's like, I can't imagine training without it. And also with my schedule, I never felt like I could join a gym, like to get full use of it. Like it wasn't convenient for showering or, all the things. And so this was a perfect way for me to have what I needed, but at home.
Yeah.
So are you scoping out space for a rower now?
I mean, I was like, I don't need it. And then they announced that Matt Wilpers and Adrian Williams were going to be instructors. And so my husband was like, so does that mean we're getting it? And I was like, not yet, because I do have room for it, but it is where I do like my strength and mat work. So we haven't done it yet, but I think it's always in the back of our mind if I should try it or not.
Well, with Wilpers being a coach, it still kind of is mat work.
That's true. But
I will also say one of our listeners and who's become a very dear friend of mine, Christina Sandover, she has where she did her strength was always right in the middle of her room between her tread and her bike. And what she does is she just lifts her rower up in between, and so she can still do the strength. So
if your ceilings are high enough.
Yes, I'm just trying to help you. I am enabling you to get a rower if that's what you want to do.
I appreciate that. Yeah, the room in here is plenty high enough for that. So,
and when it comes to Peloton, I can vouch she is quite the enabler.
I am. Yeah, definitely. I am a good enabler. So I'm curious, since you were already a runner and you started the Peloton journey as a runner, did you feel like having access to the app changed the number of times that you ran, or do you think that it kind of stayed the same once you started doing that?
Well, I would say it definitely helped me with, it's okay if I just go out for a 20-minute run instead of feeling like, well, if it's not 3 miles, it's not worth my time. And so then I would talk myself out of working out or not saying if I didn't have a consistent schedule already set up. So I think it's helped me maintain some sort of consistency because I can take a 20-minute class and I feel good about that. Whereas before I felt like I needed to run a lot more.
Well, the other question I had was how do you balance the bike with the tread? Like, how do you balance those two different kinds of workouts? Because it seems like, based on our conversation before we started recording, you're still primarily a runner. So how do you make that work?
It's funny, like I'm a data nerd, so I keep a spreadsheet of all my miles because of course I do. And you can kind of see like, okay, just finished a running training cycle. Here goes my cycling miles. And then they go down, so I still ride my bike during a training, running. When I say kind of my comeback after having my son, I didn't run very much, maybe 3 or 4 times, but I was riding my bike a lot and I ran almost a PR on a half marathon. So I was like, okay, I know the bike is doing me a lot of good, even if it doesn't always feel the same like running. And so I've really seen the impact it has by being lower impact on my body, but I'm still maintaining where I can go out and run a quicker pace. So it just kind of depends on what's happening. I don't want to become bored or, so if I feel like if I don't want to run, then I'm going to ride. I'm like, okay, well, I'll ride my bike and I'll try to pick a class or something that will be comparable to the workout I had planned running. So I just try to use it as a tool. And like I said, it goes up when I'm not running a lot, and then it just goes to complement.
That's awesome. And tell me again, now that we're recording, what your races are that you have coming up on your schedule.
I have a local half marathon to Oklahoma City. It's the Red Coyote Half Marathon. It'll be in November. And like I was saying, I did, maintain a good proof of time for runs in races. I love those races. So I need to make sure I get that. And then I have another full marathon in March in Los Angeles. I'm excited to finally do the Los Angeles Marathon.
I've heard good things about that one. That's a good one too. I mean, I think they're all the larger cities have really fun marathons and good support, and I always hear really good things about them. I don't feel like our St. Louis one's super exciting though. Maybe I just over St. Louis. Maybe
I think it's just the muggings.
Yeah.
It throws people off.
You can run a little faster.
Yeah.
Well, I have had that on my list, but it's always
Getting
so
mugged?
close to
That's
Oklahoma
weird.
City. No.
That's
I mean, it could be, I'd put it on my bingo card if it happened, but no, the is it Go races? In
Yeah,
St. Louis?
it's the Go St. Louis Marathon.
Yeah, but it's always around Oklahoma City, and I have a special connection with Oklahoma City Memorial Marathon, so I always participate in some way.
No, that totally makes sense. And is your special connection to Oklahoma City because you live there, and that was like your first one, or is there more to the connection than that?
Yes, it was. I do live here, and I lived here when the bombing happened in 1995. But it was my first half marathon, my first full marathon. I didn't know that existed until that. So it's real special.
No, that makes sense.
My son is going to college in Oklahoma City right now.
Yep.
Oh, really? Which school?
Oklahoma City University. We just dropped him off like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's where I went for my undergrad. I love it.
That's awesome.
Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah, that is good.
And you're gainfully employed. So as a parent, you're doing well enough to buy 2 pieces of Peloton equipment. So
exactly.
And have a residence in which to keep them.
I mean,
you're not just having a shopping cart trotting around Oklahoma City.
All the signs point to it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Of course, she didn't.
Yeah, and it's much cooler down there now. Like I was eating at a local. It popped up since then just yesterday, and I thought, I wish this was here when I was at OCU. I mean, it's,
Yeah, we stayed in Bricktown.
Yeah, we stayed. Yeah, that was neat. That was a neat little town.
Sounds like it should be a 90s detective series starring like who's the guy that played Dan Tana? Robert Urich.
I was like, I got nothing.
This fall on ABC. Robert Urich stars in Bricktown.
But it was a cute little part of town for real. And we really enjoyed it. And he seems to be enjoying it. Although as far as the being employed part, she didn't do theater.
That's true. He's trying to be an actor.
So we'll see.
Okay. But I was a music education major, and I played in a lot of the productions, and they have a very, very good rate for dance, theater, musical theater, opera. They produce them.
All right.
Okay. Fingers crossed.
Yeah. If not, we're going to hold you completely responsible.
We will send the student loan bills to you now.
She's like,
well,
wait.
I'm still in education, so I mean.
That's fair. Okay, so recently you got to go to the studio. Tell us about that.
I did. Finally. So I turned 40 just 2 weeks ago, and my friends who, like I had mentioned earlier, one lives in Michigan, one lives on Long Island. And we were like, we should do something to celebrate for my 40th. I usually start school around the time of my birthday, so it couldn't be on my birthday. So we were like, let's plan a trip to New York City. And then Justin Timberlake announced his tour. So we're like, okay, we're going to put it around that. I did not mention that to Cody, though. But we did that. And then I, did all the things of trying to get registered for a class. I was waitlisted, but I was able to get off the wait list. So it was for my 40th birthday, even though it was a little bit early.
That sounds like a really great way to celebrate your birthday.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I've never seen Justin Timberlake, but I feel like it would be a good show.
I think so.
It is very good.
Yeah.
Very good. I saw him in Tulsa and then in New York City, and then I'm going to go again in Oklahoma City. I mean, it's a good show. Even if you don't love him as much as I do, it's a good show.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
and that's what I like. I mean, he has some songs I like, but I'm not like, yay.
Yeah, I would only know the stuff that's like really popular.
Like the singles.
Yeah, that's really all I would know. I mean, I don't like hate him, but I'm not like, oh, I know every Justin Timberlake. Now, if you were to say Pink, like that, I know. Like that, and I'm like, I know every single song, every single lyric.
And I'm like that with old stuff.
Yeah.
If you said about Billy Joel,
then you would know that.
I'm set.
We got all of the bases covered here.
Who we saw in Tulsa.
Right.
We did see him in Tulsa.
At the BOK Center.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was for your birthday. And tell us, like, what was it like going to the studio for the first time? Did it meet all of your expectations?
Oh, and more. Like, I was, in that courtyard area outside the studio. I'm like, they film videos here. So I was like, my eyes were out. And Jess Sims was sitting at a table, and my friend was a little shy, but I'm not the shy one of the group. So I was like, listen, she is outside the Peloton studio. Like, she knows that there's probably a much higher chance of someone approached her. So, I mean, of course I was kind, but I was like, if she didn't want to be bothered, like, she would not be sitting right there. So
you're not knocking on a bathroom stall door.
Right.
Yeah.
And to your point, we've been there before when like Cody and Alex Toussaint, 2 different times, they both came through. Both of them had headphones on, hoodies
down,
up, like they were just laser focused. And you could tell they were like, don't bother me. And which is perfectly understandable and fine. But like, to your point, you can tell when someone is like open to approach. It is okay.
So, and of course she was super nice, as I expected. And then I felt really nervous for the cycling class. I got to do a ride with Cody, and I was like front row by the mirror, which I didn't think about the mirror until like it was happening. And I was like, okay. But I was nervous because I've never taken a group cycling class. So, and I have the Bike Plus. And so I was a little nervous if it was going to be, how that would feel in the studio. And it was fine, of course. And the level of service was great. Like, I'm there to take a class, and it was like, what do you need? Do you need me to adjust this for you? Do you need another towel? It was very nice. And everybody in the studio store was so nice. I thought they were very clear with their expectations, which I appreciated because, again, I was nervous about that deal. So having clear rules and stuff, it helped me. I was nervous about what I was going to say to Cody. Like, when it comes time, am I going to just spew something? Like,
depends on how hard the ride was.
Right. And so I was like really nervous about what I would say. I felt good. I had previously met Mount Wilpers when I traveled for the New York City Marathon in November. I went to a Team Wilpers group run in Central Park. So I'd already kind of gotten through that nervous starstruck. But for Cody, like, I just didn't know. But he was nice as can be. He saw my Star Wars tattoo and immediately started talking to me about Star Wars and rides at Disney World. So it felt very, very comfortable.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
What's your Star Wars tattoo?
I have a Rebel sign. I don't know how well you can see it.
Oh, it's like
right there on my arm.
Hang on 1 second.
Yeah, it's on my...
Oh, okay. Yeah. It's like the whole Rebel sign.
Cool.
That's neat.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's really fun. Now you said you're really into Disney runs, like you do the Disney marathons, and what is your favorite like place in Disney to visit? Oh,
I don't know. I mean, it really depends on what I want. Like, if I'm going for a go vacation, or if I'm doing more of the, if I am there for maybe like a dopey weekend, like I want to have a spacious area, a quiet area, so I can try to rest. Because that's the hard part of traveling for any race, is you want to go see all the things, but you need to chill out. It kind of depends on what the mood is. Yeah, I travel to Disney probably more than the average person.
We are big fans of Disney here.
Yes.
So we go every couple years at the minimum.
Which I know isn't a lot to some people.
No,
and
definitely.
It's a crazy amount to others.
Yeah.
So, but.
Right.
And really the only reason that we do it like if it were up to Tom, we would be there every year. But I'm like, I would like to see other places in the world. So can we?
That's what Epcot's for.
Right.
I can take you to like 15 different countries. I can show you the world.
Well, I want to see the real thing.
We are annual pass holders who live in Oklahoma, but we go enough that it makes sense. But now that our son's getting a little bit older, we've talked about expanding our horizons a little bit. We always do a July week-long trip where we meet up with our friends and enjoy ourselves.
That sounds wonderful.
Do you do DVC or are you just get in a room every time, like going?
I'm actually a travel agent who specializes in Disney travel.
Oh, okay.
All right.
You got the hook up.
I see you. I see you. She's got, this is her part-time gig.
Yes.
So she's like, she hooks herself up. This is smart. This is smart. Take your
she's
passions.
Like, then I'm going to write it off.
Yes.
Nice.
Very smart.
Well done.
Well done indeed.
Yeah, no,
it's all research.
Of course it is. You need to know all of the things so you can tell people that, this makes a lot of sense. I am curious then, since you love Disney that much, did you get a chance to go to the Star Wars thing that they did, their little cruise thing that happened?
The Star Cruiser?
Yeah.
I did not. It just wasn't in my budget, and it wasn't in to pay for my whole family.
Yeah.
And then nobody else was as crazy as me to want to go in on it.
Yeah.
So
did you watch
I didn't get to do that.
Did you watch that 3-hour video about it?
There's an amazing YouTube video that goes into a very, very, very deep dive of every detail.
I watched it one day when I was at work. My day job, I book an arena and we were doing graduation. So some days for graduations, if we're doing 4, I might be there from 7 o'clock in the morning to 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
So I have nothing but time on my hands. And so I was like, I'll watch this. And if it holds my interest, I'll, whatever, I can let it play while I'm doing other thing. 3 hours later,
he was riveted.
I'm just like, holy crap, this was insane.
And I knew that's how he would be. So I sent it. I watched 8 minutes of it and I was like, I do not have time for this. Here, Tom, you watch this.
Because she knew that I would come home and be like, get a load of this.
and I'd
give her the 45-minute version of it.
Yeah. Well, the immersiveness of it was very cool.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And all the things that the video covers, all the things that went right, but all the things that went wrong.
But also the things that went wrong, especially at the end when they're trying to cheap out on it. It's totally worth watching. This lady does a great job.
Very good job of breaking it down based on Tom's review.
Yeah.
Right.
So what is your leaderboard name?
It is Jedi Gen 11.
I was about to say, and is it Star Wars based?
And yes, it is.
That's awesome.
So there was one time that there's a Samyo stretch that uses Princess Leia's theme or something. So I have it bookmarked, and it was just a random Friday evening. I was doing this stretch, and the only other person in there also had a Star Wars leaderboard name, and I was like, I think this is peak Peloton nerddom. It's Friday night.
Yes. Yes.
Star Wars people are in this Star Wars stretch.
The Venn diagram.
Converged. Yeah. And Samyo's right in the middle of it. And I love him for that.
Except your Venn diagram, it's not circles, it's 2 Death Stars.
Right.
Yeah. So then does that mean Cody's your favorite instructor, your preferred instructor?
I feel like when I saw this question, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know. I mean, I definitely have my go-tos, and not everyone's had a fair shot. I will say that because I just love who I love, and then I just don't have all the time to do all the classes.
You can't date all the guys on Match. You just don't have time.
Got to narrow it down.
Yeah. So Cody, I always have Cody. I call Fun Friday. That's what so I usually will do Cody stuff on Friday. Matt Wilpers, I just really jive with his way of training, and that makes sense to me. I'm very mathematical. I love it. Like I said, it works for me. Power Zone training has changed everything for me, so I just love it. But I like a good playlist, so I love to take a class with Ben. I love Susie because I appreciate that she's an actual endurance runner. And I love taking running classes with different instructors, but you can tell when they're not an endurance runner. Like an endurance runner, I should not say this because then I'm going to put it in the universe and it's going to happen, but they're not going to have you be on like 8% for 20 minutes, you know, like,
right.
So I feel like I can listen to the calls and follow, and it's going to be, you know, a workout I'm looking for. So like I said, I like to take a variety, but you know, and who doesn't love a good stretch with Adrienne Williams, you know.
You dabble with all of them. Yeah, that's good.
And of course, like when John Hoskins came on the treadmill, like, I mean, he really was, he's supposed to, so.
I was just taking, I had like I told you earlier, I had a 12.5 mile run today. So I took a lot of classes because I'm super slow when I run. And so that just equals a lot of classes that I can take. Yeah. One of the classes I took today was a John Hosking run, and it happened to be the one where he was talking about 4 years since the first time he had taught a group fitness class. And he was talking about how important that milestone was to him. And and also he was talking about how shy and introverted he was. And that blew my mind because I was like, what? John Hosking, shy and introverted? Like, no, I don't believe you.
Yeah.
That blew my mind. That was crazy.
So do you have any advice for people just now entering the world of Peloton?
I just say to, you know, dabble in a little bit of everything, and then you'll find your groove, because who's my favorite instructor might not be your favorite instructor, and try different classes that you don't normally do. Because, you know, you might find something like I like strength training a lot more than I mean, I don't even know that I really ever did it before. So, you know, just try something new. I feel like it provides a safe space because you're not worried about other people who might be in the class with you, and so many different things for you to try. So I just say, give everything a shot and go for it.
That's good advice.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much for taking time out of your day to join us. Before we let you go, let everybody know where they can find you in all the places if you would like to be found.
Yeah, Jedi Gen 11 is my handle, my leaderboard name. I even think it's linked to Facebook. I don't know. Once upon a time when you could like do that. I don't know. But I just try to stay consistent with the name to make it easier for all the people who want to stalk me.
That's perfect. It's good to make it easy.
Stalkers have a tough time of it, so it's nice that you're courteous.
Yeah.
Like that.
It's nice that you think about the stalker for once.
No one ever thinks about the stalker, what they're going through.
Jen does.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Yes, we do. Thank you
for having me. This was super fun.
It was super fun.
So that brings this episode to a close. Until next week, where can people find you?
People can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/Crystal D. O'Keefe. They can find me on all the rest of the socials and the Peloton leaderboard, and running like a crazy person through our neighborhood at Clip Out Crystal.
And you can find me on Twitter at Roger Kubert, or on Facebook at facebook.com/Tom O'Keefe. You can find the show online at facebook.com/The Clip Out. While you're there, like the page, join the group. Of course, don't forget our Patreon, where we will tell you all about an instructor who people thought was leaving and they were wrong. We'll tell you how we help fix it. So that's over on the Patreon. So that's it for this one. Thanks for tuning in. And until next time, keep pedaling
and running
and rowing.
Bye.